All right, let's get it, y'all. We gonna get this part 2 going. Let's see what we got in the fridge. I think we're gonna go with the Arizona tea today. Yeah. So I started with the FACER, just like LeBron. See, I moved to the Lakers, had a lot of heat, so I switched to WatchMaker. Then I had to switch it up, and then I couldn't fake it, so I grabbed my Arizona tea, took a sip, then we opened it up, and then I let it rip. That's all I got, y'all. Let's switch it. Let's get it going, man. What up, y'all? Welcome back, man. We back with another episode. Appreciate you guys swinging on through to this late night vibe, man. Appreciate you guys. All right, so let's get the first order of business out the way. Y'all already know we always started off with our drink of choice for the day. So like I told y'all in my other video, man, like literally I've been knocking these bad boys out, y'all. These Arizona teas is fire. Oh, so good, y'all. But anyway, man, welcome back, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through. Most likely you coming back from my previous video that I just dropped on yesterday. And yeah, so yeah, I was telling that story about kind of why I decided to switch from the FACER application when it comes to the Galaxy Watch Faces over to the WatchMaker app. But before we actually get into that whole story, man, I kind of want to talk about the whole reason as far as switching and just some of the things that I like best out of the WatchMaker app over the FACER app, right? But before we get into all of that, y'all already know the deal. If you guys are new here, if you OGs, then you already know the deal. Go ahead and comment down below right now, man, how many likes is on this video at the time you guys are watching it. And let's go ahead and run this video views up. Let's get it. Now, also, man, I gotta give a shout out to the Squizzard. All right, shout out to everybody, man, that's been clicking on that join button down below. I appreciate you guys, man, and your support here on the channel. And let's go ahead and get into the topics, man. So the first thing we got to talk about today is what is the FACER app as well as what is WatchMaker, right? So for there's a lot of people out there, again, we talked about assuming, right? I don't want to start this video off and then like people don't even know what the heck I'm talking about, right? So the FACER application as well as WatchMaker, these are two applications that are out there that a lot of people use to get like custom watch faces for the Galaxy watches. Now this has been going on for some years now, so even with like the Galaxy Watch 3 actives and even the Watch 4 as well as the classic versions as well, and it's probably going to continue on with the Watch 5. So when it comes to these watch face apps, a lot of people actually kind of flock to these because the stock watch faces on these watches, whether it's the Galaxy Watch or whether it's like the Apple Watch, typically not the best. You get like some basic ones, but I would just say overall when it comes to those companies, they're not really geared towards designing watch faces, but they're more so geared towards the functionality and making sure the watches work, which is why you get apps like WatchMaker that come out and they create a lot of these watch faces for people like myself and like you guys who love your smartwatches that you guys wear each and every single day, right? Now this kind of leads me into like why I decided to switch from the FACER application over to WatchMaker. Now I've had people, even you guys down in the comments, y'all have always said, hey, you need to check out WatchMaker or you need to check out some of these other places instead of using like the FACER app all the time, right? So I was like, you know what? I need to kind of go on the hunt and start looking for some better applications for watch faces, right? And just kind of switch things up. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the features that I think in WatchMaker that I like over FACER, right? Now, one of the biggest ones that I gotta say is the searching capabilities. The searching capabilities within the WatchMaker app is a whole lot better than it is in the FACER app, because a lot of times when I'm searching inside of the FACER application, I can't find the watch face based on the name that it is within the app, which is kind of like confusing at times, because in my previous videos where I featured a lot of their watch faces, I would like say the name and I would even put it in the video and still people couldn't find it because of the searching feature within the FACER application. But for like my first time actually using the WatchMaker app, like literally if I typed in orb or if I typed in any other watch faces that I had in that series, and I'll link the ones that I had in my previous video and down below, and if you want to check that video out, I'll link it at the end of this one. But literally what I would do is I would just type in the name like orb or whatever the name of the watch face is, and boom, it would pull up no problem. Like even like I think there was ones like Steampunk 2 I would type in steampunk 2, boom, it would pull up, right? So I just feel like the searching capabilities within WatchMaker is just a whole, I mean, it's 10 times better than it is in the FACER application, right? Now, that kind of leads me into the next thing, is just far as like just the ease of use with using WatchMaker over FACER, right? I just feel like when it comes to finding things within the application and just watch faces in general, it's kind of sectioned off better within WatchMaker than it is in FACER. I feel like sometimes FACER was one of those applications where it was a lot harder to try to find different watch faces for your Galaxy watches or whether it's for your Apple Watch. I just felt like it wasn't as organized as I feel WatchMaker app is as far as within their library of watch faces, which also leads me into when you actually find those watch faces, right? One of the biggest things that I like within the WatchMaker app has to deal with syncing and being able to customize the watch in itself without having to do a resync. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So within the FACER application, if I ever wanted to let's say change the color of the watch face, say I wanted to change the color of the hour hand or whatever it may be, right? I would have to literally change the color within the app, and then I would have to do an entire resync again and send like the changes that's in the app to the watch face in itself, right? That's like that extra step of something that you got to do. But I felt like that really didn't make sense, because I'm like, if I already have the connection from my watch to the FACER application, then why do I need to do a resync every single time that I make a change within the watch, right? So my thing is like, I was like hoping that with the WatchMaker app, they had like the syncing down to the point where I didn't have to do that. And man, to my surprise, they definitely got it down pat. And it's kind of like one of those things where it just saves you time. The fact that I can change color on the fly, just opening up the app within my phone, or even some of the watch faces, I can literally just double tap. And I showed it in my previous video. I can just double tap on the watch face and then boom, it's going to change the color on the fly. Or if I need to make a change, whether it's going from a 24-hour metric system to a 12-hour metric system, all I got to do is make the change in the app, and then boom, it's instantly synced to my watch, like in real time. I don't have to do an entire resync again just to pull that information over to my watch. So it just makes the process a whole lot simpler. Now I know to some people out there, it probably is not gonna be that big of a deal, but to me, when it comes to like just being able to be like, all right, I don't know, let's say I'm wearing, I don't know, a red shirt with some black and red Jordans or something like that, right? Like, I want to make sure my watch face matches. So maybe I just want to change the color to be like a black or a red. I can easily just press the button in the app, boom, I'm done. And that kind of leads me into the last thing when it comes to WatchMaker over FACER, and I know y'all gonna agree to it, and that is battery drain. Now, y'all already know with the FACER application, like, it drains battery like nobody's business. And y'all already know with the Galaxy Watch 4, the battery life on these watches have declined drastically with all of the updates and software pushes that they've been pushing out on these watches. So the fact that I can now get these custom watch faces with my watch, you know, with using the WatchMaker app, I don't have to worry about my battery draining even further than it already is with the stock watch face in general. So to me, with those four things, it's to me kind of like a no-brainer of why you should use WatchMaker over FACER. All right, so real quick, man, let's go ahead and talk before we go ahead and wrap this video up. I want to give you guys a little insight into why you guys will never see FACER on this channel or just me promoting any of their watch faces probably ever again, just simply because I don't really rock with them as a company, as well as, you know, the people that kind of work over there and just kind of how they use creators for themselves and basically getting ahead without you know, without a mutual beneficial collaboration. I'll put it that way. So basically, man, what happened is I created this series here where I just show you guys the top 10 watch faces of the month, right? And you guys have been rocking with that series and been rocking with me with that. It's literally one of my top series here on the channel, right? So the next thing that happened is FACER decided on Instagram, they reached out to me, right? They say, hey, we love what you're doing. We want to see if there's ways that we can help you and different things like that. So I was like, you know, all right, let's schedule a meeting and let's figure things out or whatever. So because for me, y'all, and one of the things that I always kind of like look at when it comes to any type of collaboration or any company or anybody that I might be working with, I need to talk with you first. I gotta get a vibe from you. Like, the vibe gotta be right. If the vibe ain't there, if the energy is off, then us working together is just not gonna be a good match. So like I always say, like, just because, you know, it might be a big name or whatnot doesn't necessarily mean that I need to work with you by any means. So I'm very selective on who I work with, which is probably why you don't see a lot of advertisements here on the channel, just because, you know, I'm very selective on who I work with. We gotta have good synergy, good energy, and all that kind of stuff like that, right? So I said, you know what, I'll go ahead and take a meeting with them. Right now, before I actually take the meeting, now I'm gonna get to that meeting and how that went. Now, before we get to the meeting, right, I went ahead and posted out there on their own Facebook community group, right? So they got their own Facebook group that's out there. And I took one of my videos and I posted it out there in their community, right? Just to kind of see, you know, the response and whatnot. Their community latched onto that video like a hawk. Like, people was watching the content, commented underneath and liking the post and all of that, right? Which was super dope. And so kind of fast forward to the meeting, right? So we get to the meeting. And you know, I'm talking with them. First thing they tell me, they're like, hey, we love your content, we love what you do. And I was like, you know, cool, appreciate that or whatnot. And they was like, you know, we want to help you and so forth. So I'll, you know, in my mind, I'm already thinking, coming to this meeting, I already understand the magnitude and the value that what I can bring to this relationship and to this future partnership, right? Or potential partnership. Because for me, all of my videos that I do as far as this series here, I track all of the links in it. Like, in any one of my videos, y'all, I track the links in them, right? So me going into this meeting, I already have an understanding that I've sent close to 100,000 click-throughs from this channel right here over to the FACER application, driving traffic as well as driving monetary sales for them to go up, right? So I'm going into this meeting with, you know, the expectation of them having an understanding of that. And if they didn't, that's cool. I'm always willing to share the information, right? Because that's the reason why I collect the data. So I expressed to them, you know, hey, this is what I offer. This is what I can bring. You guys have already kind of seen the value of it. If you haven't, here's the data, here's the numbers, here's what I'm driving, right? Now, when it comes to their business model, and this is the thing about, if you guys are an entrepreneur, you have to understand the business that you guys are in. Don't jump into something and just get excited because someone wants to work with you and all of that, right? Like, you have to be you got to be mindful of what you guys are doing and what you guys are getting into, right? So for me, I'm mindful of the business. So I'm looking at the platform and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, okay, I see two business models here. I see one business model of them making money through traffic. So the traffic being the advertisements that they can put on their platform, and they could drive traffic and drive sales that way, right? So that's one source of income. So I already know right off the back, even before we even go into sales, I already know there's a revenue stream that I've already helped fill, being the traffic that I've driven there, because they make money off of the AdSense that's within their application. Now, that's one revenue stream. Now, the other revenue stream that they have is just the paid for, if you guys go in there and you guys pay for a watch face, right? So the watch faces typically that I show on the channel is either free or they're 99 cents. I usually don't like to go any crazy higher than that. Maybe some of them like $1.99, but for the most part, they like 99 cents, right? So I already have an understanding that, okay, if I sent close to 100,000 people, and I'll share the data up here on the screen, if I sent close to 100,000 people to your site, now I understand that if I sent 100,000 people that, and if all of 100% actually bought a 99 cent, when that's what, $100,000. We can all do simple math here, right? Now, I do have an understanding that not everybody that I send there is going to be buying a watch face, right? But I do have an understanding that probably majority of the people will. So let's just say I'm half wrong, right? Let's say I'm half wrong about having 100% of people actually buying something on their site, right? That's still $50,000. And even let's say I'm 40%, you know what I mean? Or 60% wrong, that's still $40,000. You get what I mean? So my thing of it is in my mind, and here's how I'm thinking about working together. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing these two business models that they have, and I'm like, okay, well, this would be a perfect collaboration and perfect way for us to build something that's going to be long-term, because that's the other thing. I like to work with companies that I can build something long-term with, and not it just being kind of this one-off thing, right? So I'm sitting there And I expressed to them, I said, you know what, here's some of the things that I'm looking for. I expressed to them kind of my fees because, you know, I like to work within like either 3 to 6 or a 12-month time frame for us to be able to work something out. So I already know, hey, I have this monthly series that I'm doing here on the channel. Hey, let's work together for 3 months, or let's do a 6-month deal, or let's do a 12-month deal that makes sense that makes sense as far as me continuing to drive traffic to your platform, as well as me continuing driving sales to your platform as well. So to me, it just makes sense. Like, this collaboration makes sense because I've already shown value and shown proof of what I can actually do. Now, again, just because I have this inkling in my mind or I have this mindset doesn't necessarily mean that company has to work with me, and I get that. I'm not saying that I'm the end all be all and I'm the only creator out here that this company can work with, but I feel like if you reached out to me and me sharing this data and sharing this information, that this would just kind of be an easy, you know, kind of an easy exchange, right? So they come back and they was like, well, what we would actually like to do is we would like to help you in any way that we can. If we can do some type of a situation where we can put your face and give you like your own section on the website and give you your own section on the app or whatnot, and then we'll also post your video there, and then we'll also put your top 10 list on there, and we'll just build that out every single month. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And that's actually something that I had in mind myself. I was like, you know what, it would be dope to have kind of my own section on there as well. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's cool, but that doesn't benefit me, not one bit. It 9 times out of 10 benefits you because, one, you've already saw when I posted my video out there on your Facebook group to your own community, how they kind of attached to it and they latched on to it, driving more people to, you know, to your platform to go download these certain ones that I personally picked out, right? That I like, my own swag, my choice, my thoughts, right? So I'm like, okay, that's cool, but that doesn't benefit me not one bit in this situation. But let's do some type of monetary deal to whereas it makes sense for me to continue driving you guys, the audience, driving you guys out there to their platforms. It just would make sense. So I mentioned that to them, whatever. So they was like, well, you know, we'll take it back and we'll get back to you. So they come back to me, and they had already, before we even agreed on anything, because again, I wasn't doing anything that wasn't going to make sense for myself, or it wasn't going to just be mutually beneficial. Again, I've already proven the value that I've given, hence them even reaching out to me in the first place. So they come back and they're just like, well, what we can do is we've already created your page here on the site and everything. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I didn't give you guys permission to do that, because we need to come to some sort of agreement first before you just start using my name, as well as using my videos, as well as using the pics that I've personally picked to be just displayed on your application on your website. Like, it was literally live out there, y'all. Like, and I'm just kind of like, wow, like, I can't believe y'all just went behind my back and just negated everything that we talked about in our prior conversation as far as how I run my business, and just say, you know what, screw it, we're just going to go ahead and use his name, we're going to use your video, and we're going to put the section out here for our audience, their audience, to go out there and just start, you know, driving more sales and driving sales to certain certain watch faces that I had already picked. So I instantly was like, look, I reached out to them. I was like, look, y'all got to take this down. If we can't come to some sort of agreement, then this isn't going to work or whatnot. So all of that to say this, y'all, I end up asking them to remove that. I decided to say, you know what, you guys don't value me as a creator. You don't value what I'm doing, because you guys instantly just went behind my back and just displayed myself up to your website as if we were in some type of agreement and a partnership, which we wasn't. So for me, y'all, I just don't rock with that type of energy for a company to kind of do that. It just screams like, I don't know, it just kind of screams, I don't know, just bad vibes and bad energy, man. And I just felt like from a long-term perspective, that just wouldn't be a good partnership and a good marriage to kind of, you know, to bring to you guys and continue to have here on the channel. I will say this, you probably will never see me promoting FACER application here on the website unless they actually come back with some type of formal apology, or if they come back and say, hey, you know what, we want to work with you. We see the impact, we see your audience, and we want to do things the right way. Now, again, I don't know if that'll happen, but if it does, then maybe we can talk and maybe work something out. But in this instance, like I said, I don't rock with the energy that they got going on over there, and I just can't get with it. So if you guys are working in business and you guys are entrepreneurs, make sure you guys understand the business that you guys are in, so that way you just won't let somebody just screw you over and just have you getting excited about, oh, you're gonna be on the front page of this or whatever. It's like, okay, start thinking about in what ways can this also benefit you as well. Like, just because these might be bigger names, and granted, I'm not saying that FACER is a huge name, but I am saying that there are other opportunities out there that you may get approached with from a business perspective. Just make sure you understand the business that you're in, so that way you're not blindsided by the glitz and glamour of just being involved with that business versus your own self. Because at the end of the day, you your own entity as well. You your own business. You your own boss as well. So make sure you are, you leveling up, right? Because, at the end of the day, like, a shout out don't pay the bills. I mean, I'm just keeping it a bean. So at the end of the day, be a boss, be a business owner, and and run your stuff accordingly. But other than that, y'all, that pretty much wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the top 10. Like I said, all of these watch faces that you guys see are from the WatchMaker app. They're not from FACER anymore, and which I'm happy about, because to be honest, I feel like the WatchMaker app is a little bit better than the FACER app in a lot of different ways. But nonetheless, man, that wraps up this video. Like I said, y'all, always make your moves and always remember your why. I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Squad.